or celebrating things. Now two are that the branch manager role has finally been filled permanently.
Woo!
So we've got some certainty there. And the other one is that we have 2 full-time admin and finance staff, which is fantastic. It's allowed us to streamline processes, which means a much more efficient admin team. So welcome, Corinne. Right, and that's, I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So because I know you guys have a lot more achievements that you'd like to talk about. So I will hand on to Catherine.
Over to Catherine.
Hi everyone.
Happy to come up here, Catherine.
Thank you, Catherine.
No.
Thank you everyone. I've met most of you now, but for those that haven't met me, I'm Catherine Batson. I'm in the acting role, Kelly's previous role. And the 2 greatest achievements that have happened since the last one of these events. I've only been in the program for about 5 months, so I'm talking about program events that really happened before my time. So one of the ones was the program size has increased considerably from 1 half-time person or a part-time person to 2.5 full-time equivalent staff, and that's actually an extremely big win, and it's long overdue, and it goes a long way to matching, to coming close to some of the resources that other states put into the WEEDS program in national parks. So for example, New South Wales might have the same number of staff working in just one section of New South Wales compared to WA, which has really huge amounts of much greater tenure than what other states have. So I'm going to say from a national perspective, it's an extraordinary achievement, and it's probably a reflection of how WEEDS is starting to become a higher profile or a well-known threat and accepted by the department. So I'm going to say congratulations, Kelly. You've really waded through the trenches for a really long time, and other states probably have it much easier. The second big win was really bringing WEED management training into the fore. Where I'm going to read out my notes here because I had to get some help. So this training is delivered to the department to enable WEED managers to not need to become a licensed pest control officer, which is what the department requires. So Imogen has been leading the revision of all this training, and some of those key achievements would be changing the course structure to enable a practical to take place within the training rather than afterwards. And this has shortened the days of the course that Imogen or the group, the DCA offers. It's removed the duplication of info so that the modules of the course are more engaging and more interactive, with swapping out lots of text for images and diagrams, etc. Reducing the assessments from 2 to 1, making the post-course marking quicker and also matching the accredited training. And the training has been delivered to 71 people out of 7 of the 9 regions. We're also revising Policy 14 on WEED management so that we can create more options for the regions to embrace training from next year. And she's also been creating an online module for volunteers and staff who have already got existing from other RTOs. And I think another achievement of the WEEDS program is that they've really nursed 2 acting program leaders over the last year into this role, and they've also been filling the acting program leaders role in the times that they've been absent. So I really would like you all to really thank and congratulate Imogen and Jazz for the ratification and supporting them.
Thank you so much. Kylie. Clicker's here for you.
Yep. Always a friend. Yeah, it's no big secret. Our biggest win probably for the year was the dieback detector dog. So being able to secure some external funding, get a research scientist in plant pathology, which is sorely missing. And it's really touched every part of our program in terms of, it goes from the lab to that research side to the interpreters who help make the whole thing work and be better. And the new system guidelines, which this time last year we just kind of, I think, or when we did our last one, had just rolled it, actually proved to be really successful. So working with partners across primarily, it's any proponent who does disturbance where they have to do dieback interpretation work. And so it's been really nice to see that hasn't been a huge impost on the team and other things like that. So we've been very very busy, and I did put the VHS on there because they've been instrumental in the dogs, but also they've really stepped up to a much greater component of work in their space as well this year. So those systems and everything are running well. So yeah, those are our two big wins. And it's also been a time of change as well, like a lot of other programs. So the fact that, you know, Nathan's headed off, we've got Darby, which is amazing, and a lot has fallen to senior team members to really make that work. So yeah, Ian, you in particular have had to suck that up as we've had to bring new people in and out. So yeah, yay.
Thank you. Corin, the clicker's just there.
So our first dot points were for the first time in 2 years we've been able to have every single position in the program filled, with additional support in place, both with Grace and blogs coming online in the jot form and vet track training space. I also wanted to, recognise some of the major communication staff that we've had with the IA workshop in May, which is delivered to over 40 DVCA staff from across the state. We've recently held the aerial baiting coordinator workshop, providing over 40 people with updates to the new code of practice, which Gaz will talk about. We have delivered numerous face-to-face 1080 training programs, with Grace currently working on reviewing all of our training packages for us. We've put in place this year to improve how our team communicates, because we're quite large and we've got 3 big programs, leadership team meetings. We've just recently, after our IA Connect, now have our Ferals chat line, which is on Microsoft Teams, as a way of trying to keep the team connected, because we're from Kimberley's to River at the moment. Just recently, I've taken on the co-chair position for the Terrestrial Vertebrate Working Group, which is a national working group for invasive animals. It's the first time I've been involved in national stuff, so it feels a big celebration to be able to have a team around me to support me to be able to do that. And the program coordinators, Gaz and Lucy, are going to talk about the second document.
Thank you.
Just touch on
Go.
I'll just keep it pretty brief. So I guess we kind of all have these little hats that we wear, some bigger than others. And so something that was major for us this year was the first time the department's been able to have an interagency aerial shoot conducted on our estate. That's probably something that hasn't happened for over 10 years. Sort of took a lot of backwards and forwards with other sections of the agency to try and get an agreement in place that everyone was comfortable with. So that was a pretty big tick. The new 1080 code of practice, another body of work that's probably 4 years in the making, to get over the line this year as being out and about in the community, whether they liked it or not. But that's something that we've got to roll out this year, and we'll continue to inform staff of changes to the 1080 code. And I guess another one on the back of that is the national registration of Eradicat, which has also been a very big body of work. And that's kind of, a couple of the major points from my perspective.
Just continuing on in that, I guess the corporate, my invasive animals corporate space, part of our communication strategy is also engaging with scientists and trying to actually improve and create efficiencies in some of the programs we're delivering. So there's been a couple of projects in the last 12 months, collaborating with VCS, the Conservation Science team, in looking at efficiencies around aerial baiting work, also looking at improving the fox bait that we do, and also using the science, or working with science to actually engage in the TO space, the traditional owner space. So kind of using that science as getting on country stuff and engaging with TOs in the regional areas, and also engaging with DVCA staff in those types of projects.
So I, like Catherine, have only been in the team a amount of time, so a lot of this work has been done by other people. But so the Western Shield Advisory Group has met We've also had one of the first regional meetings, which will progress throughout to the rest of the region, so we can then look at how that we make a program plan for Western Shield moving forward. Automating applications, going on to the next 5 years. And then from the monitoring team side, a couple of their major wins, they've delivered quite a large amount of training to regions to be able to assist with some of the work that they're doing, as well as some of the places that we're doing monitoring are showing really positive impacts to the base.
I guess I should introduce myself in case it's, haven't met me yet. So I'm Mick. I'm the program leader for the cane toad strategy. We just found out yesterday in the state that cane toads are a problem and they're about to invade the Pilbara. We had no idea about that before. But yeah, no, I run a team with 2 permanent staff based up in the Kimberley, 2 permanent positions, as well as a casual that is based in Hobart at the moment. And yeah, I guess some of the major wins we've had for the year is the delivery of Kimberley Science Week, where we went to towns all over the Kimberley, delivered educational materials and cane toads, running sessions, and also having community engagement events. We've also now organised with a bunch of leading mining industries and a few other agencies a cane toad workshop to be held next year in early Feb. And yeah, another win for us is just a continuation of our program in terms of delivering what is our key targets and strategy, which includes frontline mapping and a production of a publicly available map for the distribution of cane toads in WA, and follow-up mitigation work to a lot of our key species and treatment sites, as well as engagement with a lot of different managers, including traditional custodians, and helping them in their own biodiversity surveys and planning for management of cane toads once they arrive on country.
Excuse me, I feel I've written far too much, so I'll try to make this brief. My name is Ryan, I work in the cat space. I guess for us this year, it's been, we had our big area of the winter run up north, where we were looking for tenure blinds treatments. We're working with mining companies, with community groups, not-for-profits, traditional owners, and getting landscape scale stuff, looking to like refine an approach where it's not just up to the department to do that sort of thing. So that was quite a bit of a win. It's a bit clunky operationally, but what was probably more challenging was hybridizing processes from government and mining and trying to merge the two so that we can actually operate and do things. So I feel that was good learning for the department as well as the mining entities. So that's been kind of cool. A lot of our work is tied to the delivery of the feral cat strategy. It's an operational arm, an R&D arm, and essentially a social license arm. So in terms of our partnerships and stuff for operations, that's been going really well. We've got a feral cat management grant system which is run through state area grants. That gives us some of our R&D and supporting community groups to do both on-ground work as well as innovative and novel sort of approaches. So they get assessed internally by a feral cat technical committee in terms of advice, and then it's a competitive round for to attract funding within the third round this year. We've got, we'll be ranging from all over the state, AWC and CSRO doing genome sequencing for WA feral cats, right through to a small community group of like 4 or 5 people in a small town of Wheatbelt looking after the right area. So it's accessible and it gets people involved. And I guess in terms of social license stuff, we get a little bit from the community grants. We've also started conversations with RSPCA. We've understood that there's not a lot of information kind of down the middle for people to understand what the impact feral cats might be. They can get all feral cats need to live, fluffies are amazing, we should leave them alone, down to the conservation end of we're all going to die from toxin osmosis. And so it's challenging for us to then, because we have to stay with the truth as we understand it, with every department, we want to try and put enough information down the centre so that people can actually participate in the conversation, formulate their own opinion, and RSPCA are kind of keen on that. So we'll try and progress that. And most of our stuff is very much thanks to Renee. She apologises she can't be here today, but she said to say hi.
Thank you so much. Other way.
Yeah, thanks. Kelly asked me to put in for Tony. His apology today. So instead of me doing his first and then mine second, I'm going to do both together. In the past, we were one program, but thanks to Kelly, we've actually split out. So Silviculture, its own program. And although we're a very small team of 4, we do rely on each other, the resources within the team to help out where needed. The last time I was up here, I think it was just pre-FMP time, for those who was in the room at the time. We spoke about the policy changes and how eco-thinning will fit into that. But yeah, so what that's meant is policy change. Some of the stuff Tony's been working on is, he's working on working arrangements, interagencies between FBC and EBCA, under the new MOU between FBC and EBCA. But internally also is, because this FMP is very specific, aligned with science, was also getting a group together where we interact with science on a very regular basis, so putting together just in terms of reference for that group, so how we can access their resources and vice versa. Really operationalise some of the research in an adaptive framework. But yeah, another one there is obviously after Imogen and Erin left us, we had 2 vacant positions for a long time, so we've been founding. Imogen would be happy to hear that no monitoring took place at a good time. We recently filled those 2 positions, so Prem's in the room today, and welcome to Prem. Magda's unfortunate absentee today. She came down with tonsillitis yesterday, so yeah, Margaret River. I don't know what you did down in Margaret River. In any case, so yeah, they are great. They come from a quite diverse background, and please get to know them a little bit better. It's a pity that Max is not here. Yeah, so really interesting, and yeah, their skill set is phenomenal. So yeah, get to know them. They're really great guys. For myself, the last time I spoke about different ways of things. Now that's evolved since then. We've thinned almost 2,000 hectares to date in the forest landscape. Young regrowth forest. It's gone through a vulnerability matrix. There's about 8 steps in that matrix that gets us down to selecting where we go and what we do. We've steered FBC into using mechanical harvesters, most of them in the Jarrah forest is rubber tire, so minimising the ground disturbance and impact, and they apply herbicide through the harvesting. So at the time of harvesting, they can apply herbicide and they can manually override that. So if they want to apply it, they can. If they don't want to, they can't. And it's on target, so there's no off-target stuff happening in that space, which is great. To date, some really good success in some areas, and it is adaptive management, so we try and improve our systems. The other thing that we've really honed in on is every FEA gets a very granular silvicultural plan, and that goes through the whole detail. So it's a bit of a look back at history at what it was before it became regrowth forest, and then trying to analyse it and transgress it basically into something in the future that will fit with whatever climate change and modelling predicts for us, which is where I should be after lunch. Kelly said, be here, and she's organised a thing. So for those who don't know, the IPCC Climate Change Committee used a report, and WA is getting the WA perspective today out of that report, which drives a lot of what we are doing. So those topics about climate change, and one of the key guys that actually was involved in that space is in the room.
Woo!
It's Prem. So, yeah, very handy to have. So that's us in a group, and thanks Kelly for making the Silvics a fun program. Thanks.
I just asked Karina if I could come up again because I want, congratulations everyone, what an amazing year, what an amazing amount of work you have all done. I also want to say thank you to you all for everyone who support each other in your teams, program leaders, you support me immensely in my time as acting and now as my time as permanent branch manager. I know I can call on you all at any time that I need to. The knowledge that you have is just unbelievable. So thank you all very much and congratulations on an amazing year, and I look forward to many more with you all. So thank you.